Looks awesome.
It's easier to take care of now. Hey, we're on. Welcome to the Church Solutions Podcast. My name is Philip Emery Thompson.
Really? I am Steve Lacy. Is that really real? Emery?
Emery is my middle name, Emery, and it was actually my grandmother's maiden name, I guess, on my mom's side. On my mom's side of the family.
My mom had I don't know if it was a popular thing during the day, way back, but my mother would say, if your initials spell something, you're going to be rich.
Yeah.
So your initials spell something.
Yeah, PET, pet. And probably I would be rich if I hadn't been in ministry for over 40 years.
Well,
but I'm not bitter about that.
You didn't follow you didn't follow the abbreviation rule that don't go into ministry if your name spells something. Because
okay.
I don't know why she would tell me this, because my initials don't spell anything, but my younger brothers do. And he's very wealthy.
Well,
so it came true.
For him, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're Jackson Stephen Lacy?
That's right. I was just looking through some old newspaper clips I have here at my office. And I think it's my brother, but the wealthy brother, had sent me articles on my namesake, which was a Colonel Jackson from the Civil War. And it was an article it had his photo and some article from the Civil War era newspaper. Pretty interesting. So
what side was he on?
he was. It's very interesting because I think he was a Southerner but became a Northerner. So I know that he moved and lived in Kansas, where you had your ministry.
Yeah,
and but he was in a battle, left for dead. They said the opposing army had thrown him into a lake because he was so badly injured, and they were just let him drown and die. But he survived. Or actually, someone else came along and fished him out of the water and nursed him back to health. So,
wow.
But he was he led a group in the Civil War. So, Colonel Jackson.
Okay. Well, good deal. That's very interesting.
I'm not sure if he was related to Andrew Jackson or not, but
Civil War time, huh? My grandfather was born in 1860, but that was my dad's side. So my dad, we're going to get to this podcast in a moment, but you talked about surnames and stuff. My dad's middle name was Graydon, Graydon, and he was named after the doctor who delivered him. My dad was born in a log cabin in Huntington, West Virginia, and then that's why my brother was named Thomas Graydon Thompson Jr., and my brother's dead now. But when my son was born, we named him Philip Graydon Thompson and called him Graydon. But in school, they would call him Philip because that was his legal name, and he would never bother to correct them or tell them, no, I want to be called Graydon. So people know him as Philip, and some know him as Graydon.
I've known you for how many years? I'm learning some things live on this podcast. I, too, was named based on the doctor that delivered me.
Oh.
So my middle name is Stephen. I go by Steve because my dad, same kind of thing. I'm Jackson. My dad was Jackson.
Right.
So they called me Steve, but I was named after the doctor that delivered me.
Huh. Interesting how they did. I guess they did that back then. Doctor that delivered me was Moorhead, so I'm glad they didn't call me Dr. Moorhead. So I'm glad they didn't name me Moorhead. But anyhow. All right. Well, we're out of time now, folks. Thanks for being with us today. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, that's interesting stuff. See, we talk about interesting stuff, at least to you and I.
I know.
People out there.
Nobody else is going to care.
I'm done. All right. So our 8 or 9 listeners are done. Ready for the Easter rush. That's what I'm calling this. And I don't have these notes in our blog yet, but I will. So depending on when you listen to this, or watch us, you'll be able to go to blog.streamingchurch.tv. I would encourage you to go there anyhow, because we have other blogs there and other interesting things. And by the way, Church Solutions Podcast is sponsored by streamingchurch.tv. We do streaming video. That's who we are. That's what we do. We help churches. So this is episode number 513. And at the time of this podcast, Easter is right around the corner. We talked a little bit about it, I think, the last podcast. But again, we want to emphasize you have some very significant opportunities here as a church to welcome new people, new faces, and also help your congregation grow deeper. So I want to give you some data here, which I know you like. The data for Easter 2026, and this is Easter, of course, falls on April 5th of 2026, shows there's a significant stabilization in church attendance. So, we had the massive post-pandemic stuff, the swings and all that stuff. Now it's all leveled off. And Easter remains the single most important day for outreach. At least most people feel that way. The attendance multiplier here, on an average, churches see, on an average, 75 to 100% increase in attendance on Easter compared to a typical Sunday. From the pastor perspectives, 90% of Protestant pastors rank Easter as one of their top 3 attended services of the year. And over 50% of those people say it's definitely their number one most attended day. And then you got the big 3 rankings here. Easter consistently holds the top spot when it comes to all this stuff, followed by Christmas, of course, 81%, and Mother's Day, 51%. We don't talk a lot about Mother's Day, but that's a great way to reach people. Rising generations. We know a little bit about this. In 2026, the data shows that Gen Z is currently among the most frequent church attenders. And there's a surge of engagement from young men in particular to this. And then I do want to touch on this. There is this hybrid reality that we talk about a lot because we do streaming video. In-person attendance has stabilized. Roughly 23% of Americans now regularly participate in services watching something online, streaming online or on their television or something like that. So what we'd like to do today in this podcast, because we've all been involved in ministry with this company, we understand more than just streaming. We've been in leadership and worked with our websites. We want to talk about websites here because that's what people are going to be looking at as they get ready to visit your church. They're going to look at your website. It's your digital front door, and it needs to be ready for guests. And so we want to go over a few steps here that you might want to be reminded about or maybe even rethink when it comes to prepping your website, because people are already looking. They're already looking. I can tell you that right now. And where I live, we have a lot of growth in the area I live here in Tucson. I live actually in a little area called Marana, which is no longer little. And we have just a ton of houses that have exploded here that they've built, and shopping centers, and there's a Walmart coming in here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. So there's new families, and when new families move into an area, many of them are looking for a church. They have young kids maybe, and they want to get involved in a church. And so wherever you might be living, America is very transient today. Even if you're in an older part of the town where you live, there's still people moving in, moving out, moving in. And so there are opportunities for you to reach new people.
Yeah. And there's new ways to reach new people. Did I talk to you about the unique way this church reached out to me, where they sent me a gift card? Did I tell you about that?
I don't know if you did or not, but refresh our memories here, because that might be good for people to hear.
I've told a couple of groups about this, and I can't remember if I talked about it on the podcast last time or not. So anyway, as you know, I'm a big car guy, and so I stay in tune with all the car shows. This was 2 weeks ago, and I saw a thing that said, hey, there's going to be a car show at which is not far from me, and it was going to be in a church parking lot on Hardy Road. You know where that is. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'm going to go check this out. It was going to be from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or something like that. So, and on their little advertisement, they had a click to register. I thought, sure, I'll go ahead and register. This was like the day before because I was going to invite a friend. His son is in town visiting, and he's into cars, and his son's into cars, and I was going to make an event of it. Anyway, so I register for it, and then I end up not going, but because my wife guilted me into, what are you doing today? Well, I was going to go to the car show. Whoa, anyway, I didn't go to the car show, but the following week, I get an email, and it's thanks for attending the car show. Here's $50 appreciation for coming to our car show. I'm like, they're going to pay me to go? And I was initially, my alarm went off and said, this sounds like a scam. We've got a gift card for you. It sounded like
scam alert.
Scam alert, yeah. But I looked at it. It's an Amazon gift card from the Amazon domain. I registered for the car show, and they basically said, we're sending you this $50 gift card. Check out our Easter services coming up. And because I was at the church. If I was attending the car show, I was on the grounds for that. So I guess the church sponsored the car show, and everyone that registered got. And that was my $50. That's a big. That's I can imagine a $5 thing or something, but they sent me $50, and I stuck it in my Amazon account, and my wife buys about 10 times as many as I do, and so she checked out and used my gift card without ever noticing it, and I'm like, wait, that was my gift card.
You didn't go. You should have given it back. You didn't go.
I should have, but anyway, it's a unique. I was thinking. That's a unique, very powerful statement about, they're reaching the community. Got people that never would have come to that church, bunch of car people. Yeah. And, host the car show there so you know where it's at. Send you $50. You're like, I like these guys. I was telling my Scarl group, I said, maybe I'll go check them out on Easter. So
are they new? What's their name? Who are they?
It's it's like Mountain View Baptist Church. I'm familiar with the church.
Yeah, they've been around.
It's been around for a very long time. On Hardy.
Wow. Yeah, I know where that is. Yeah.
So
that's not bad. That's not too far from where I used to be on staff at a church. Yeah. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. I wonder what their budget was. I wonder how much they actually spent on that.
I don't know. I would assume they got people to register for it, or maybe when you showed up you could register for it. I don't know. But, I'm on their mailing list.
So they have your email, so you'll probably hear other things from them as well, unless you unsubscribe.
I haven't heard anything yet, but it definitely made an impression. It's kind of like another brief story here. I grew up in South Texas. We would have hurricanes that blew through. I grew up right on the coast. We were walking distance to the bayfront, and had a hurricane. All electricity goes out. You don't have water. You don't have all these things. And a local gas station brought in a truck full of ice. And normally it's the guys, hey, let's make a buck because these guys are desperate for ice. And this gas station, which was sponsored by Conoco, brought in truck of ice, gave away ice for free.
Wow.
My dad was like, nice. Conoco is my gas station for life. She said they could have got a few bucks, made a few bucks, but they gave ice away for free. 1 bag per person, I'm sure. But
wow.
I was like, those kind of things, reaching your community, I mean, that just really can have some real loyalty, create some loyalty. Oh, and it flowed down to me. True. I was a youngster. I was probably 10 years old. And my dad talked about Conoco. They gave us ice. We're going to Conoco. Not Exxon. We're going over to Conoco.
Brand loyalty. Yeah, that's definitely something to think about. Yeah, that is good. Well, those are a couple of good things. And if you didn't get anything else out of this podcast, that might be something to think about. No, seriously, I mean, you think about it. How much is somebody's email worth to you? If they're legitimate email and they're in, if they fit all the circumstances and fit all the criteria, $50, getting back to your little car show deal, $50 is maybe a good investment.
Yeah,
you might get those people.
it's sowing and reaping, right? You got to be
Yeah,
willing
it's true.
to sow. And
Yeah,
this church
yeah.
definitely sowed with me. So they
Very interesting. Mountain View
had been
Baptist. Huh, that's
a
definitely
30
something.
plus year member of my own church and serving there.
Yeah,
They would
yeah.
be top of my list.
You ought to go anyhow.
I should.
Sorry, Jeff. All right, so let's talk about church websites real quick here. So
Yes.
before we run out of time, so I've got here five essentials for your Easter website prep. So you want to make sure, and I can't believe we have to say this all the time, but we do because we all run across, because of our nature of our company, we run across church websites all the time. You need to spotlight your service times. So even if your schedule isn't changing for Easter, and I know some people are having multiple Easter services, but visitors expect to see Easter service times. So you can make a quick edit there, make it clear on your homepage, place it near the top where it's impossible for people to miss. I mean, we've run across this with streaming, people watching the live stream. Yeah, where's their live stream at? Some of them are our own customers, right? And it's like, I can't find their live stream. I know they stream with us. Where are they?
Or we'll look and go, wow, they got some weird service time scheduled on their live stream. Let's go to their website and see where their service times are. I'm like, we can't find it,
Yeah. So just go back through there and look at that. And I always say this every time, but have somebody that maybe doesn't look at your website very often and have them also help you, because they may see some things that you miss. Stuff you're used to looking at may not look too good for fresh eyes.
And a lot of churches, I mean, my church as well has a modified schedule for Easter. So we just added services. So we normally have 3 services on the weekend, but for Easter we're having 5 services.
Wow.
So
okay, good for you. All right, so spotlight your service times. Make sure those are clear. And as Steve just mentioned, if you have additional services or whatever. But I would definitely say put down Easter services for people, because people are looking, right? So the other one is promote some of these events, promote seasonal events. Maybe you're having an Easter egg hunt or some kind of a community brunch. I mean, we had that we kicked off our service. So when I helped start a church in Kansas, I became the senior pastor. We promoted not just our Easter service, but also we're having an Easter egg hunt for the kids. And we actually had like a community brunch, and we had a ton of people show up. And so we had all that on our website and all that in our information and all that stuff. So put that on there, because that will attract people. People are attracted to that. People have kids, something for the kids to do, Easter egg hunt. People like food. So, some kind of a brunch or after the service deal. So promote these events on your prime real estate. And what I mean by prime real estate is your homepage, and but keep the home page clean. Add some nice graphics to it, and don't just clutter it with a bunch of stuff, because that can be hard.
yeah, exactly. All right, what's next? Add a personal welcome message.
Add a personal welcome message. If you can do this, and when I say personal welcome, make it short, a minute, maybe 2 minutes. A video can make a big difference with your pastor, friendly little video. You can do it. So we've been doing this for years, but it's even easier now than ever with you can take your mobile phone out, and the cameras are usually pretty good. And, you can make sure the audio is good, but it's usually not a problem. But make a little video, a welcome video, maybe focusing on, hey, you're welcome to come here and visit us, and also address, okay, well, what would here's what to expect. If you want to come to Mountain View Baptist Church, thanks for coming. We got a great service planned for you this Easter. And here's what you would expect when you walk through the doors. You're going to be, there's going to be people to help you park. There's going to be people at the door to welcome you, to show you where the bathrooms are, to show you where the kids area is, all those kind of things, because it's scary. When you're walking into a building for the first time, you're like, where am I at? What is this place? And especially if it's crowded, then there's, I have all sorts of sensory problems. If I get into a crowded restaurant, I have to be prepared for it mentally. But you walk into a building you've never been in before, I was like, where am I? And so make sure people understand in your video, here's what you can expect, and here's the people that we will have that can help you navigate through this maze.
That's the number one thing is that people want to know. They want to know, when are their service and what can I expect? And so I must admit, what we do with streamingchurch.tv is we categorize churches into a set of like a half a dozen different categories. And so we'll get a new church and they'll sign up and they'll put their website on. And the first thing that you and I think we both do this, we'll go visit their website and we'll try to figure out what category of the categories that we have do they fit into. And a lot of times it's nearly impossible to figure out, which is just basic stuff. How big of a ministry is this? Yeah. What style of ministry is this? What can I expect when I go there? And so what you want, and we've been fooled. I mean, we've had churches signed up before and we go, wow, this is like some mega church in Houston that is just big time, because we go and all the graphics show these big auditorium with all these people and we classify and we kind of know based on the style of worship what's going on. We put our little category on it, and then we dig deeper. We find out they just put together a bunch of
stock photos.
Yeah, stock photos for their church website, and they were nothing like what their websites portrayed. And that's another thing that some of the other people in our space will talk about. It's just take pictures of real people at your church. And the other thing is, one of the things I'll do is jump into a recorded service. And so I want to see a recorded video service. I want to see what the style of preaching is. I want to see, do they have a choir with 40 choir members on stage, or have a worship band with just a few members and a bunch of, you gotta kind of show your hand. So the videos a lot of times it's one shot of the pastor speaking. I'm like, give me a shot of the crowd, give me a shot of the worship band,
or the building. If they happen to like their building, there'll be a picture of the building.
Yeah, buildings are.
Well, it can be, but we certainly run across that. But I think you just need to be real. If you're in a storefront, that's fine. I mean, a live church you go to, the church I was involved with, we were in a storefront for a long time, and actually
school for a long time too.
Before the storefront, there was in that business center or whatever it is where Mike's got his little garage now, but. It was storefront, and then after I left, you guys were in a school for a while. So you just need to be real, help people understand, hey, we're in a school, we're meeting in a school because we have plans to eventually, have our own property, and just be real. And as you said, real pictures, real people, that really will go a long ways. So, I don't know how we got on that, but that had to do with the personal welcome message.
Yeah, personal welcome people. Because you can do personal welcome messages will work, but you can also do it in other ways.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on here. If you haven't done this yet, you need to perform spring cleaning. It's funny because every year, so I started this church in Kansas back in 2001. And we geared up for the Easter. Our first service was Easter, but then every Easter after that, we would work hard to spring cleaning, and not obviously. I'm talking here about the website, which is important, but also even your facility. Make sure it's looking the way you want it to look, and clean up the stains on the rug, and the blood stains on the wall no, I'm just kidding. But things coffee stains on the wall, I don't know. But I'm talking here when I say spring cleaning, more connected to, your church's website. Because what happens is you have an event like on Christmas, you got Christmas pictures up, good for you. But then somebody forgets about that. And here it is 4 months later, and it's Easter, and oops, the Christmas pictures are still up. That communicates to me as a visitor that you don't really care about your website and that you're way behind on things. And so try to freshen it up. And like I said, we always use Easter, the date, moving up to it as a way to clean up our website, facility, property, all that stuff. It's just a good way to do that. So
I think a lot of people go, well, I haven't visited the website, and we're just going to get ready for a bunch of people coming here, and they just completely forget that the front door of the church is the website. So
digital front door, absolutely. And again, I'll emphasize this again: have other people look at your website that that maybe but they don't know you real well. They've never maybe not been to your church, and you have your friends. Hey, look at the website. What do you think? And they'll tell you things that you may have missed. We have myopia. So, all right, spring cleaning. And then the next one this is something that I hesitated to put in here, but I'll put it in anyhow. Highlight volunteer needs. So bigger crowds mean a bigger need for hands on deck, all hands on deck. So, if you can create a clear call to action for volunteers, maybe a link on the page for some specific roles and contact information. I mean, I don't, you could put that on the website somewhere. I'm not sure you want to make it a prominent deal, but I mean, there are people that looking to get involved. My wife, we were visiting a church here in town, and she was looking to get involved, in it right away. But you definitely do want to make sure your volunteers are ready. And I would target people that are in your church to get ready for Easter and what's coming.
What our church will do is, for those that are already volunteers, they'll send out way in advance. Say, hey, we're going to have 5 services, this weekend instead of 3.
Yeah, okay.
And so we're going to need people to work, double shifts at the church, or get more people, or so
right.
They kind of send out a thing, probably maybe a month in advance, just saying, hey, can you, sign up for one of these services, so they'll know, who's available to,
Sure.
or what roles they need to fill. And before they have to go and ask the guy, I know you're here for 2 services, can you stay for 3, on Easter? Because nobody signed up for the 3rd service. So.
Yeah. Well, obviously that's important, because you're going to have a lot of people come in. You want to make sure those people are taken care of. It is a sacrifice, but there's ways to do that. We've talked about volunteers here in the past. Next week, we'll try to talk a little more about streaming video. We talked a lot about it the last couple of weeks. We are a streaming company, as I mentioned earlier, and so we want to make sure you're ready for, your streaming services, especially the Easter time. And even right now, you should be. Some of the things we talked about the last 2 weeks, you can go back to the Church Solutions podcast and look in the archives, or look at our blog.streamingchurch.tv, because I guarantee you, people that are thinking about Easter, they're looking at your stuff probably right now. They're trying to make a decision if they want to come and visit you. So do all that stuff and prepare, and everybody will have a happy Easter, and you won't be so stressed out, right? So there you have it. All right, we're out of time. That sounds good. Next week, Steve and I will talk about our genealogies. Genealogies, is that the word? Ancestry.com. We'll talk a little bit about the 3% German that I am, that I recently found out. Steve will talk about his, he's a Viking, I think, or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
My mother's got lots of Irish.
No, I'm Scotch-Irish. So we should just start do a podcast on these kind of things. Nobody cares about church stuff, right? Let's just talk about our past.
Yeah.
All right, I'm being goofy here. We don't take ourselves very seriously, but we take what we do seriously here. So if we can help you and your church, we certainly want to do that. So we've been serving churches since 2001, and we'd be happy to help you any way we can. And we'll do it for free. Well, we'll give you some advice for free. Maybe not stream for free, or maybe, I don't know. Talk to us. Reach out at streamingchurch.tv.
For a month.
You could get free streaming for a month.
There you
And
go.
maybe if you play your cards right, you might get it for more. Who knows? It depends what kind
Yeah.
of a mood Steve's in. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm seriously, we want to help your church. That's what we do, and that's if you listen to these things or watch our stuff or read it, you'll know that that's our theme. All right, so we're done here. Thank you, folks, for spending some time. Thank you, Steve, and thank you, folks, most of all, for spending a little bit of time here watching and listening to the Church Solutions podcast. My name is Phil Thompson. Please take care of yourself and each other, and we'll catch you again on another episode.